What you say as a podcaster matters. You know what also matters? Who you work for.
And now, a look at what's trending in the podcast world and how it can help your show. It's the Jag Show Podcast.
Evan Lazar is an employee of my New England Patriots, who, much to the delight of most football fans, have crashed back down to earth hard and are now one of the worst teams in the league. No complaints here. We got 6 rings when I was young enough to follow sports more religiously. Anyway, Evan is a co-host of the Patriots Catch 22 podcast, produced by the team. And by and large, the show can be critical of the team when warranted. But following a bad loss in San Francisco last week, Evan said there was a mutiny in the Patriots locker room. This did not sit well with his employer in Foxboro, Massachusetts. The episode has since been taken down from YouTube, and Lazar has walked back the comments, essentially saying he got riled up in the moment, according to Boston media. Are podcast journalists? Well, it depends on who they work for. Lazar is an employee of the team, and while they give him a long leash, they ultimately have veto power over the content, as we saw this week. What if he worked for the radio station that has the contract to carry the games? Well, that would be a little bit murkier, wouldn't it? But unless he's either employed by a news agency or completely independent, he doesn't have the freedom to say what he wants. There are 2 lessons here. 1, if you're recording a podcast, always be mindful of who you are producing that content for, especially if that's your employer. And 2, while the beauty of podcasting is that it's meant to be a free-flowing, natural conversation, be wary of getting carried away and saying something that might come back to haunt you. Also of note here, the usually media-savvy New England Patriots have removed the podcast from YouTube. However, as of 9:15 a.m. on Friday when I'm recording this, they have not removed it from Apple or Spotify. This supports the argument that YouTube is now the biggest platform for podcasting. If your show isn't on YouTube, it needs to be, even if it's an audio-only show. If you need help, feel free to reach out to me. Finally, I recorded this episode of The Jag Show in the new Descript rooms. I'm a beta tester for it. That is eventually going to come in and replace Squadcast as a web-based recording studio. I'll keep you posted on that. Later!
The most popular ways to grow a podcast are recommendations of friends and family. So share this episode with someone you know. And for any questions you have about podcasts, find Jag online at jagindetroit.com.